Been happily married for 8 years now. And when I initially laid eyes on my husband, my first thought was, God, dog, he fine. He asked for my name, and then we exchanged numbers. When I tell you the rest is history, we've gone through so much together, so many ups, so many downs. We've been through the highs of the highs, the lows of the lows. But as of lately, I found myself seeking some changes. And it's the kind of changes that actually scares me, to be honest. I've gone through hell and back over the past 2 years, and that hell was lived out in slow motion for me. Every detail, every moment, I felt it, I lived it, I had to survive through it. It wasn't until the midst of the storm that I realized I needed my loved one, but I had to wake up and realize that he had a 24/24 relationship with his career, which meant he wasn't always available to provide the type of love and affection that I needed. He was going to get up and go get it no matter what. He was going to take care of his family. But the absence of someone when you need them the most, that kind of hits home. So today, I've gone through 5 stages of grievance. Today, you're meeting me at stage 6, the reconstruction phase. I have been rebranding and rebuilding my life, my self-esteem, my whole identity, just so that I can balance all the roles that I have acquired in my life. I woke up and realized that I had not taken the time to piece every part of me together. I was working with pieces instead of a whole recipe. Some of the ingredients was missing. And I know you're wondering, well, sis, what does your stove and your life story have to do with me? Well, friend, just like that stove and my life, and you as a woman, we were both wired to take whatever recipe life throws our way and to make it whole. So what I used to do was take my stove and set it to 350. This time I set it to 375. I take 1 cup of cornmeal, I add 1 full cup of flour, a half a cup of sugar, and I give all the dry ingredients a stir. Once all the dry ingredients are well incorporated, I'll add 1 full stick of melted butter, 2 scrambled eggs, and 1 whole cup of milk. I give that a stir. When the mixture is made just right and everything's put all together, I bring over the oil, which is just the measurements for my ancestors. Last but not least, it's just honey. I usually do about 2 tablespoons. Once everything is mixed and your batter's just right and your oven said now it's time, I take my dish, I add in the ingredients. That's exactly what we do as women. We take any recipe life throws our way and we make it whole. Life doesn't consider whether or not it has given you every ingredient that you need to create. It also doesn't care whether or not the settings that you're in are conducive to even receive the ingredients in the first place. All it knows is that it has something to deliver you and you have a job to do. Either you perform the task that you're supposed to or risk being talked out. These are just skills that we learned along the way. We as women weren't even given an opportunity to identify who we truly are. We was given a baby doll to take care of before we could even identify ourselves. But unlike men, they were given tools and cars and things to play with. Nothing to help equip them to be our life partners. We've been prepped and primed since the beginning. And that's exactly what we do. We show up each and every day shrinking ourselves just to perform a steady job in a role that we've never really asked for. I need you to do what I did. Once I realized that things weren't going well in my house, I had to open up the cabinets. I had to take inventory of my shelf. I realized some ingredients were not there. So what did I do? I took pen to paper and created a grocery list. On that list, I wrote down everything that was missing, everything that wasn't working in this house. I took the grocery list, I folded up, and I took it to my husband. What the list said, your assistance is now required in this house. His face dropped. Of course, I ruffled some feathers. It meant that some things had to change, and change isn't always easy. I could not continue to do it all. Always having a list of things to do. I realized if I always had something to do for someone else, I could never do for me. This phase of reconstruction, it helped me to realize that I am a modern woman operating in a traditional role, and that's okay. I love the space I'm in. I love my family. I love my husband. But the settings need some adjustments. I cannot continue to operate in a traditional role as a traditional woman when that just isn't who I am. I know I had to break a lot of relationships to get to this point. I know that I'm ruffling the feathers in my relationship. The foundation that we built, it may be getting cracked, but that's okay. I'm willing to sacrifice it to make a change, to make space for myself. And you should make space for yourself too. Reclaim your space, because before you know it, you're going to wake up, realize that you're either almost burnt or you're just too tired to give a damn. And that was me, almost burnt. I know some women may look at us and say, girl, it's not that deep. But a woman that's operating on the wrong systems for far too long gets to a point where she can't cook at all. She feel burnt out. She feel useless. She feel used in her role. So there needs to be balance in your roles. You need to have time for yourself. And if you can't make time for yourself, then baby, you shouldn't be doing it for anybody else. If you can see yourself in me, if you've been operating your life on the wrong settings for far too long, wake up, sis. You've been asleep. It's time for you to be you, and it's time for me to be me.